Perfect timing. I hit go live and Lisa showed up.
Jen should be here shortly.
I was just about to be like, oh, I'm going to be all by myself
I'm here. I just
for a while. Let me just, talk by myself for a few minutes and then, but then you showed up right then. So
I want to grab my craft.
Well, I am working tonight on updating stuff on my website, which is right in front of my face where the camera is. So I'll be like looking right at it a lot. But also, I have everybody else on a screen that's all the way across the room over there. So this should get interesting. So if I'm making weird faces or like look like I'm not looking at you, it's probably because I'm actually looking at you. Or if I'm looking a little too intently at you, it's probably because I'm actually looking at my website.
Got it.
I want to show everybody my things that the completed versions of what I was working on last time. But
oh yeah,
I need to. Well, first I need to convince this to actually show me what I'm trying to see. I need to get them transferred to my computer is what I was starting to say. I think is right. That's for that. Fix the elegance. And being very, very interesting to watch right now. I know. Just sitting here like da, 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 da.
Well, we're just waiting on Taryn, right?
Yeah.
We may have to get started without her if she doesn't show up soon.
I'm probably going to, it's easier for me to just open stuff in Photoshop. So I'm probably just going to open a bunch of tabs in Photoshop and then I'll share the screen.
All right.
Tabs, windows, whatever they are in this thing. Canvases. Something like that. Oh, it's reached. So, what are you working on?
I'm making a water bottle bag. Like this one. Only
nice.
this one's still a work in progress. But I'm using this pretty blue multicolor. Almost like denim jean, almost kind of appeal.
That really washed out a lot in that picture. I wonder if I can. I'm probably going to end up just spending this whole session editing pictures, so I may not even be able to show the pictures of them until the end. Oh, we have a heron. Because the
Sorry.
kind of hey,
Sorry about that. Instead of hitting got it to the live streaming, I hit leave meeting. So I hit that.
had to convince it that you really did want to come back in.
Yep.
I'm trying to correct some images so that I can put them on my website. One of these in particular, I had a nice light diffusing box, not a nice one, a DIY one, but you know, nice in that it was functional and such. But the tape was coming undone, and the light diffusing factors were falling off, and now I'm trying to, that's the wrong direction, trying to get stuff corrected accordingly, which is not as easy as it should be. And also I feel like that sentence didn't come out the way it should either, but I mean, what am I going to do? I clearly cannot. Words are hard, man.
Words are hard.
Glad we're in agreement. Oh, I'm like, why is this not like letting me adjust it? And then I suddenly realized, oh, because it's got no background at all. That made a lot more sense inside of my head, I think. Even if you know Photoshop, it made more sense inside of my head because I didn't use all the right words, because words are hard.
That's okay.
Is it though?
I think
It's
so.
taking far too long to thread this needle. Far too long.
Karen can't nothing today.
No, I can't stay
No
away.
skills.
This gives me a good morning phone call. I have a dream. I'm out in public and I can't talk to her. Like all I want to
What?
do is go home and sleep. And I'm like,
So I
Karen, you
called her
are home and you are
this
sleeping.
morning, and she was convinced that she was out in public, and all she wanted to do was go to bed, and she couldn't sleep because she was in public. That's what she was telling me when I called her on my way to work this morning. I was like, Karen, you're in bed.
I was at home. I was in bed. I promise.
Oh boy.
Yeah, one of those days.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been a great day.
Yep. I mean, my first day back after vacation, and my brain is still on vacation.
I know that's gonna be me Monday. Me Monday.
Yep.
Brain vacation.
Mm.
All right. Well,
All right. Well, it's 12 minutes, and we should probably start talking about the book. Um,
Oh, I guess.
so
Okay, I'm gonna try. I was gonna do this. I was gonna make a bracelet. I've decided to change how I'm gonna make it. So
okay. Do you?
on to the book.
So first chapter was
So,
chapter 30, which was consequences.
Which all have to do with what happened at the end of the last chapter calls.
Which I called it. I said something. I told her it was gonna bite her in the butt.
It
Yeah,
did.
you
It bit her in the butt. Several times.
well, it didn't start there though.
No, it hit poor Amy first.
Yep. And the oh dear, those pictures did not come out at all.
Lovely.
I mean, just one thing that I took pictures of, not all of them. Yeah, so Amy's artwork at the charity thing, I guess, that they were doing.
Yeah.
It was reminding me of something from a show that I started watching at my sister's recommendation, but I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the show, and it's driving me nuts.
I gotta be honest, reading that Amy sat there with a bunch of flowers that no one wanted to buy as they wilted really felt personal.
I felt it too. I felt it too. So Bailey's been doing craft fairs, and
I
sorry,
felt it more in the being more in the, well, maybe you just don't want me to have a table at all.
Yeah.
me and Lisa have been doing craft fairs, and Lisa has been doing very poorly, and I've been doing poorly, but I've been doing better than her, and it's just been so hard, and it's just sitting there. Well, everybody goes to the front and the foremost tables and the pretty tables, quote unquote pretty, and it's like she's left in the back in the corner, like all alone with her wilting flowers.
They're not wilting. Yeah, no, I definitely, I understand. I really do.
But I had a good haul this
It's
last
been-
weekend at the craft fair, so I can't complain.
Yep.
Oh.
We did
That's
pretty
good.
good last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I went from making absolutely nothing to over $50. I was like, yes,
Yay!
not bad.
I keep trying to use my keyboard shortcuts, and a couple of my keys aren't working, so my keyboard shortcuts aren't working.
Oh
So if I start, I keep doing something, I'm like, it's usually because I tried to use a keyboard shortcut that I can't use because my tab key, among others, isn't working.
Oh
no.
no!
Of course it isn't.
um,
So of course Amy got that tiny little corner booth because of a jealous girl who happened to have Joe had the one Joe did a very good impression of in the previous chapter. And she was unhappy about this, and Amy got blamed for it. And so this added to the little things of this one guy wanting to dance more with Amy, and oh no, not one guy, it's Tudor. That's what,
Yes, specifically Tudor.
specifically Tudor. And what was the other thing? They liked her art more than hers.
Yeah, everybody liked
Well,
Amy better.
her art was better than May's vases.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did spend that entire chapter of Amy finding her art. Like,
Right?
better be pretty good at it. She spent that long trying to find her art.
Now she's like 17 at this point, right? Amy? She started out 12. The
It's been
first
at
part
least
was like
4
a
years.
year.
Isn't
been
she
like
like
5
15 or 16?
Well, no, that was been the 3 years. So she was 13 at the end of the first year, and then the 3 years went by. That would make her 16,
And now
and
it's
then
been another
it's been a whole
year.
another year because Meg had babies, so that's got to be
I
like
thought
another
she was
year.
12 at the end of the first year.
I can't remember if she was 11 or 12.
It's been at least 5 years, so she's got to be 16, 17 at this point.
Anyway, somewhere in that area.
I still see her as like a little 7-year-old, and it's like I gotta get that out of my head.
Right. I still
Especially
see her as
since
a
she wasn't
child.
7 to begin with. Well, I mean, she was at some point, but not within the story.
I still feel like she's a child. It's like, get that out of my head.
Not that one. I am.
I mean, then again, 17 is still very, very young.
Well, in 4 more years, her parents will let her marry.
Yep.
I mean, that's when they let Meg marry. So
Uh,
me
Okay.
realizing that Joe's like 22 at this point.
And she's not looking to get married at all.
Um,
I think she's more like 20.
No, she's the second oldest. She's only a year behind Meg. Meg was 21.
Oh, yeah.
I guess she's 21.
so she was. Yeah.
She's 21.
Yep.
But that makes Beth, what, like 19?
Yeah, which would make Amy 17.
We're just like arguing their ages over here. Like, how old are they? They're still young. They are young. They're babies. Okay. They think they know what's good for them and they don't.
Don't we all? Yep. I definitely need better pictures of my products. These pictures did not work well.
Yeah, I made a bunch of glitter foam earrings this weekend that I have to post up on my shop. But luckily I have the app on my phone, so I can update it right on my phone without having to transfer pictures. So
Oh, I should get that app on my phone.
I have my nice SLR camera, but it's the lens is a piece of a gear broke off inside, and it's really, really hard to get it correctly focused.
yeeks.
I really need a new lens for it, but that's the most expensive part. Anyway, yeah. So I can't remember what I was going to say.
Difficult stitch. Hold on.
Yep.
There we go. Okay. Start of a like changing from going to a circle to doing the rim takes a minute. So yeah, so Amy is courteous, she keeps her manners, and it pays off for her in the end because Lori and his friends buy all of her flowers and not the vases.
No, and then they do go buy the vases afterwards because she
Yeah.
tells them to be good guys to go buy the vases. And Joe was very happy to find out that all of Amy's stuff outsold May's stuff very quickly in the sale
Yeah.
at the table.
Lauren who bought all of her paintings?
Huh? I don't know.
Because-
She had her stuff at the art table, and all of her stuff had sold before May's stuff.
Yep.
But May also said she made sure to get it before the right eyes. So May was clearly starting to,
Try and make peace.
yeah.
Yep. What's done is done, basically.
Yeah.
Bygones be bygones.
And of course, Lori and his boys did go buy some stuff from May too. So
Yeah. Which is nice.
Amy wasn't just hogging the sales. Like, she made sure her friends bought from other people, which is very nice of her. She tried really hard. She said it was her dream to be a lady, not just like a lady, like a real gentle lady. with
I love
manners
that.
and everything.
And that's so different than how she was at the beginning.
I was just gonna say that. Her mindset from like when she was 11 or 12 there at the beginning to now where she's like, I want to be a proper lady, a true lady, one this kind. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, she's definitely grown and changed a lot. And mostly for the better, I think. Almost entirely for the better. And that's why like I've said several times, you know, I tend to think of Amy primarily as the younger version of Amy. And there are some other things I will elaborate on once we watch the movie, but I tend to forget this part of Amy, and I like this part of Amy. And I would like to remember this part of Amy more. But I don't know, it just leaves my brain easily because in my brain she's that annoying little kid most of the time.
It's weird because she's only the annoying little kid for the first half of the book.
We're not done the second half yet. Hold on.
Well,
No,
Well,
it is
suffice
nice.
it to, without giving any spoilers, suffice it to say it's a greater percentage of the movie.
Well, then after she, at the end of it, a week or two later, she gets a letter, and she got chosen to go on the trip with Aunt Carol, and not Joe, which Joe was very sad about
Again, because of Joe's mouth.
her own actions. And then she was told it was her own actions. Like, oh, okay. So Amy gets ready to leave, and we don't know how long it'll be until she gets back. Probably years.
I mean, it's a whole big trip to Europe. It's gonna be a big thing.
Now a trip to Europe will take a couple weeks, couple months. Back then you had long boat rides, like weeks to months long boat rides.
Well,
Train
and if you
rides.
were, yeah, and so if you were going to do it, and especially traveling across Europe like that, like you're gonna do it right and take the time to make it worth your while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because they talk about going to Europe, and she talks about like things that she'll be seeing in Rome and things. And then she talks about when they were in Italy. She talks about when they were in Ireland, and like it was almost jarring to me because like in my brain, like if people are going, people go backpacking across Europe or whatever, then that's the continent. Or people go to the British Isles. But I know people who go on trips to both. But like when people talk about going on a trip like that, it's usually one or the other. Or I guess
Yeah.
at least in my brain it is.
Well, she went to England and then she was going to like Germany and all these other places. So Paris
Ireland, England, Germany.
I gotta be honest, I kept
Rome.
confusing which one she was talking to and hanging out with in her stories.
I mean, her stories are a bit confusing.
I know they introduced.
She is an artist, not a writer.
I think Karen froze.
I think Karen froze too.
I think she was gonna say they introduced Fred and Frank.
They're frozen. I got frozen for a second there.
Yeah, we noticed. You warmed up now?
I think I'm gonna have to turn off my Wi-Fi and turn on mobile data because my Wi-Fi's been having issues.
Yikes. Whoops, that's not what I wanted.
And she froze again while it switches over.
Yep.
I'll never know what she was gonna say.
She was gonna say, I have to turn off just turn off Wi-Fi and switch to mobile data.
Yep, and I'm back.
Yay!
I knew it would glitch while I was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then oh, you were starting to say, and then they introduced the Karen.
Yeah, Fred, the guy Fred.
Yeah.
Fred and Frank.
Fred and Frank. I don't think it's even, is Fred like Frank like Fred's brother or father or?
I think they're just friends. I don't know.
They were at that picnic on the island that they did, like
When he
forever
invited his friends. Yeah.
where the one where Meg and John were kind of first giving hints of flirting with each other.
The beginning of the Meg and John relationship.
Yeah, they were there.
So long ago, I forgot about them.
Right? Like I said, forever ago.
Right, so they met up with Frank, or Fred and Frank, or just Fred. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I skimmed most of the letters.
Fred and Frank. I think it was Frank that is showing attention towards Amy.
Fred. But Frank doesn't like it because she's not rich and she's a foreigner and something like that.
Right.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it was Frank that was hanging out with her.
No, Frank got ill, and that's why
It was Fred.
Okay. Like I said, I couldn't get it straight. So.
Well, I can't imagine why their names are so very distinct.
So very, very different. Yes.
Different and unique.
It's like people who name their twins the same thing. Why do people give twins similar sounding names?
Because I think it's interesting. That's why I'm happy our mom gave us different ones.
Right?
All right.
So it seems like Amy would probably be willing to marry Fred if he asks when he comes back and meets up with her in Rome.
She says if he asks, she will accept. She has feelings for him, but she's not madly in love. And she could do worse. And at least she'd be with a friend.
And he's richer than Lori.
Which, I mean,
She still wants to marry Rich, but I think it's because she just wants to have a better life for her family than she had growing up. Not that she feels like she had a bad one, she just wants more liberties, I
Yeah.
guess.
She was very young when they lost the money, or they got the demotion of money.
yeah,
So she
she
doesn't
doesn't.
remember it as much as the others do.
Right. And that's the thing. Meg wanted to be rich again because she did remember it. But she's not. Amy wants to be rich because she doesn't remember it. And I guess whether she will achieve that remains to be seen.
I like that it's not just like I want to be rich so I can have all the money I want and buy whatever I want. Like she actually has reasons why she wants to have more money than she has now.
Right.
Like,
I'm liking the Amy Fred pair because it takes away from the Lori Amy pair. Okay?
Karen is shipping Amy and Fred.
Simply so that I can keep my Joe and Lori ship, okay? I like that. I'm sorry, like when they're going to the craft fair and she just, is that my boy? Yes, is that my girl? And she just wraps her arm around his. I'm like, I loved it. You can't
Yeah, I
stop
did
me.
catch that at the beginning of chapter 30. I'm like, yep.
I say no words.
I'm like, Karen's gonna enjoy this bit right here.
It's gonna break my heart if they don't end up together. I swear, I'm gonna
It's
cry.
gonna break my heart if something happens to Beth because they still refer to her health being unwell. And it's like, it's been 4 years.
I'm
Maybe
pretty
she
sure.
just never really recovered from the fever, you know?
You know,
Yeah. I mean,
When she
she's
gets
just
sick,
I can
in a
relate.
frail state.
like she gets sick more often, like she wears out more easily, like things like that, maybe. Like
Just breaks
long-term
my
COVID.
heart.
It's like long-term COVID. I still have breathing issues after COVID.
Like I said,
you know?
I can relate.
It just breaks my heart.
I wanted to. I had said back when we were first starting this that I wanted to reference some things about Louisa May Alcott from Why She Wrote. And I mean, Why She Wrote talks about a lot of different authors. But I keep either forgetting to bring it to the room with me when I'm downstairs or forgetting to reference it when I'm up here. And now I'm like, I was thinking about it and I want to read something from it, but I'm like trying to skim it briefly because I can't remember if it has any spoilers. But I think I'll have to look back through it and verify if there are any spoilers before I actually read anything. But one of the interesting things to me is that, and I was thinking about this week, even though it wasn't one of the things talked about this week. They didn't address Joe's writing at all in these chapters, but Louisa May Alcott wrote for the sake of providing money for her family. And she wrote a lot of things she wrote what would sell rather than what she necessarily wanted to write. And it strikes me in two ways. One is every time that they have the like little moral lessons, it's a big part of why those are in there, because she had to put those in for it to be what would sell for something geared toward young women in periodicals. But also the way that she writes Joe and writes Joe's writing. And I'm mentioning this now because it will come up more in a bit. And I think it's interesting as Joe continues to explore her writing, to think about just the fact that Louisa May Alcott had essentially two different kinds of writing. She had the writing that she did because she wanted to, and she had the writing that she did because it was what would sell and allow her to provide for her family and get her family out of debt. And they were not necessarily always the same stories or the same pieces of writing. That is not really either here or there in anything from this week or anything for commentary right now. I just wanted to mention it because I think that it might influence how we're thinking of things. I mean, I'm thinking of it anyway, but might influence how you think of things as you continue reading each time that we come to Joe's things. And I don't remember how soon or far we are from other times that they talk about Joe's writing again. On a totally unrelated note, I am going to share my screen so I can show some of these. All right.
Ooh, very pretty.
So, these ones are, I told you, none of these pictures came out particularly well, but these ones are the azaleas.
They were the ones you were working on last time, right?
Yep, and that's why I wanted to show them, because they're the completion of the ones that I was working on last time we were doing them. And I'm going to list them on my website, but then when I get new ones made, I'm going to work on getting better pictures also. I had to take these pictures really quickly because I was finishing them up and gifting them to the teachers at the end of the school year from my kids' teachers. But these have wires, because azaleas have the I always forget what it's called.
Stem.
Mm,
The
the
thing inside the flower.
Yeah, that thing. Anyway, they have really narrow ones. And so I use wire sticking out in the middle to be that. And then did that change for you?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
just making sure. Okay, I have two different pictures of this because I wanted to get the different angles. Unfortunately, the daisy just did not show up well in the pictures. It in the pictures kind of looks more like an egg, and I swear it doesn't in real life. It has distinct petals and everything. But the bumblebee has its little antenna sticking up, and then it has wire outlines for the wings also. And those are just post earrings. And then this was the biggest piece.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
Yeah.
I remember that sunflower.
Yeah, I was most proud of how the sunflower came out. Fortunately, I could not seem to get any pictures of it to show the
Tippling.
no, you can see the stippling more. There's more variation in the color of the petals than you can see. It starts kind of more orangey and then turns more yellow out toward the edges. Sort of a gradient in the petals, and you can't really see that well. But and there are the leaves, the butterfly and the ladybug, and then to have the butterfly and ladybug and leaves on the earrings to match. And then these are the ones that I made for myself. So I do actually still have these. I would show them in person, but they're down in my workshop and I'm up here. But these are my orchid. Nope, that's not the right word.
Lilac?
Ha, um,
Hydrangea?
nope, the
Hibiscus.
probably that sounds right. Maybe Hawaiian flower.
Oh. Hyacinth.
Hold on a
Mm.
second.
That's the best I can come up with.
Yeah, it is hibiscus.
All right.
I just wanted to make sure before I like just randomly Googling things on the video. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, so yes, the I'm like, I just wanted to make sure I had the name right because my brain just suddenly went blank. We were talking about that long-term COVID, post-COVID thing and not getting all the way better. Anyway, so yeah, the hibiscus flower has I have the ferns to go with it. And then oh, there's a close-up of the flower. And then I need to refine the miniature ferns a little bit more, but after having done the hair clip fern, I know how to do that better now. So
That was pretty. I really like that.
then I made the hair clip or hair comb. That's the back, so you can see how the comb's attached. There. So there was one other, but the pictures came out completely blurry. It was the Morning Glory ones, which are what I had mostly been working on last time. So I at least had been able to show them more last time anyway. But yeah, those are what I made with those.
So I got 3 rows up and realized when to count my stitches because you do that every few rows. And found out I had an extra stitch going all the way to when I transferred from flat to having a rim. So I had to undo my 3 rows.
Oh,
Well, I'm going to have to finish actually listing those later because I have to do some stuff that's not going to be possible for me to focus on conversation and do at the same time. So I'm going to return to working on what will eventually be a vest for my brother.
Is that knitting or is that Tunisian crochet?
Tunisian crochet. I don't knit.
I still haven't like I got a set of Tunisian crochet hooks and I have not braved using them yet.
It's fun. I like it. This is for my brother.
Some of us knit. Some of us knit.
You froze again. What?
Oh.
Karen, what'd you say?
Some of us knit.
She's better at knitting than crochet.
Yeah, my sister also. I just knitting and I have never gotten along. But I like Tunisian crochet. Because I can crochet and then have that sort of knit-like style while actually crocheting.
Nice.
But this is for my brother for a Ren fair. He wanted a medieval style vest that like ties with a belt. And he asked if I could crochet him one so that it would be a little bit more I don't know, homemade, I guess. And he's paying me for it, but I was like, if I'm making it for you for a Ren fair, I don't want to just use like acrylic yarn. So I was looking at some wool and he's like, it's a Ren fair in late July. I don't want wool. And I was like, well, okay, wool doesn't have to be hot necessarily, but he was like, yeah, I don't want wool. So I found I mean, cotton didn't really exist in England at the time. So I found a linen. It's got cotton in the blend, but it's mostly flax. So at least it's like closer to period accurate. So if he doesn't want wool, he can have flax. It was the closest I could come up with. I'm like, at least it's not acrylic. But this, I found this vest pattern that I'm using for it. So if you consider, hang on. Let me see.
I'm still trying to find something to make with that yarn you gave me. I'm like, that has to be a personal project.
Still trying to. I just gave it to you 2 days ago.
No, I'm still trying to figure it, but I'm like, it has to be a personal project, not something for my shop. It's special. It has to be for myself. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna make.
I don't know, but you say that like it's like you've been trying to figure this out for years, and I just gave it to you 2 days ago.
I'm trying to figure out since you gave it to me. I'm like, this is awesome yarn.
Here we go. I was trying to find the picture that he sent me. All right, so oh wait. Oh yeah. So basically like this style vest.
Oh.
Except crochet. I was like, yeah, I can crochet that for you. One detail, I can't turn it into suede after. Um,
Yeah, right. Can't do anything
and
with that.
Just so you know.
alchemy is not my thing. But I found this pattern for this vest that I'm using for like a Tunisian crochet pattern that I'm just making it longer, and leaving the buttons and buttonholes off.
Mhm.
And figured out like doing it in Tunisian crochet because I figured that would look more like period accurate than regular crochet.
Getting that too, Karen.
What? Your voice went away.
Is it gone, John? Sorry. My
Karen,
phone was trying to call me.
Okay. I was like, Karen, is this just me? Are my speakers messed up or
Oh, I couldn't hear her.
okay.
I was asking Karen if she was getting it too, because of who it was.
Anyway,
I turned on do not disturb. So
because no matter what we do, she's gonna do everything she can to go into D&D mode.
yep. Speaking of which, Lisa, you owe me a mimic bag.
So I think that about, is there anything else we were gonna?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the book much.
Oh, I don't know. We
We
breezed
kind of
lost
chapters already.
breezed through the
over
first chapter because it was an interesting chapter, but then there just wasn't a lot to say about it. And then
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, during the chapter, I was like, oh, like, okay, and I want to make sure I remember these details, and and then, like, actually go and talk about it, I'm like, oh, actually, meh. Like, it was interesting. Most of my takeaway with it is I feel like Amy is a much better person than
I feel like the last few chapters
she's grown up a lot.
concentrated on Amy. Like there was like 4 out of the last 6 chapters have concentrated on Amy. Okay, we had the one where she was learning which art and all different kinds of art and all this other stuff. And then we had the one where she did the calls where she dragged Joe around to social engagements. And then of course we had this one that was all about her art fair, and not her specifically, but her doing the art fair. And then the one where she's going abroad. So 4 out of the last 6 chapters have been Amy based. And I think it's because we're not going to be hearing from Amy for a little while, particularly because she's away.
Because she's in Europe now.
The next 2 are called Tender Troubles and Joe's Journal. So we know at least one of them is about Joe because she's been gypped the last 6 chapters. We had a Meg chapter, we had a Beth chapter. We did not get a Joe chapter. So we're at least getting a Joe chapter.
Yep. We've got at least one Joe chapter. And I keep reading the chapter titles coming up, trying to like remember what is associated with each one, because I know things that are coming up, but I can't remember how long until some of them, and I can't remember honestly a lot of details about them. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like, I know this is coming, but I don't know how soon it's coming. I don't know when it's like what the chapter is called, so I can't just look at the chapter title upcoming and be like, oh yeah, there's that. uh,
Well, my bracelet is coming out okay so far.
cute.
Trying to make it 4th of July themed. It's not coming out so well.
I like it.
This is as far as I've gotten. And that's 4 rows. I'm about to start row 5.
This is that's one thing with Tunisian crochet is like going, you go forward a row, like casting on, and then you go backward a row, casting off.
So like 2 rows
like,
at once.
Technically, I've kind of done most of a row, except it's all casting on. Well, it's not really doing 2 rows at once. It's just you go all the way forward casting on and then all the way backward casting off, and then that
Like
completes
step
an
1 and
entire
2
row.
for row.
And so, but they call it like forward row and backward row, even though you have to do the whole thing before you've actually completed a row.
That's collating.
Yeah, basically. I keep thinking it's like typewriting. But this is 122 stitches across. This one that I'm working on right now. It's the back panel. And so I'm like, still going, still going, still going. Which is why I have it like all scrunched up here. They have some that like have like a kind of a string from the end to make it longer. So that like you have the hook to a certain point and then just kind of a cord for it to stay on after that with the stopper at the end of the cord, so that you can have it long but without having to have like the entire length of the hook the whole way. But since these don't have that and I'm not buying new ones right after I just got these ones, well, relatively.
Yeah, they do have ones with the cord on after it.
Yeah.
But
But like this is the widest piece, because the other two are, it's one half of the vest and the other half of the vest. This is the entire back. And if I can do it with this, then I can do it with the other pieces for sure. It's just frustrating. Like, am I there yet? Oof. But it's cool because you get all the way to the end, like so, and then you just reverse and start casting off. And that's basically just doing your single crochet each time. And my ball of yarn is trying to tangle on me. So, and then when you get to the other end, you're back to only one, but you never have to chain one and go up a row. You just keep casting on and casting off back and forth, and it keeps building. And you never turn the material. You just keep going back and forth with the this side facing me and this side facing away. It's really interesting to me anyway. Anyway, we're a little over, but that's okay because we got started a bit late anyway.
Yeah, I
But-
think late's my middle name.
You know, if they didn't want you to be late, they probably shouldn't have given you that middle name.
Yeah.
But I am going to end the live stream now. We will be
Bye.
back on not July 4th, July
18th.
18th with our next two chapters. So until then, everybody say bye.